The IS-7 is one of the most legendary heavy tanks ever designed, a true masterpiece of Soviet engineering that has fascinated historians, military enthusiasts, and gaming communities alike. Built in the late 1940s, the IS-7 represented the peak of post-World War II heavy tank design, combining firepower, protection, and mobility in a way that was decades ahead of its time. Though it never entered mass production, the IS-7 remains a symbol of power, innovation, and ambition in the world of armored warfare. The story of the IS-7 begins shortly after the end of the Second World War, when the Soviet Union sought to create the ultimate heavy tank capable of dominating any battlefield. The designers at Kirov plant in Leningrad worked tirelessly to produce something unmatched by any other nation. The result was a machine that weighed nearly 68 tons, with armor thickness reaching up to 150 millimeters in some areas, offering unprecedented protection against even the most powerful anti-tank weapons of its era. Despite its massive weight, the IS-7 was remarkably agile, thanks to a new 12-cylinder diesel engine producing around 1,050 horsepower. This engine allowed the tank to reach speeds of up to 60 kilometers per hour, making it not only one of the heaviest tanks in the world but also one of the fastest in its class. The firepower of the IS-7 was equally impressive. It was armed with a powerful 130mm S-70 naval gun, adapted for tank use, capable of penetrating the thickest armor of the late 1940s. This gun was equipped with an automatic loading system that increased its rate of fire, something very advanced for its time. The tank also carried multiple machine guns, including two 14.5mm KPVs, offering formidable defensive capabilities against infantry and light vehicles. With a crew of 5, the IS-7 provided both firepower and protection while still maintaining a surprising level of comfort and efficiency inside. One of the most fascinating aspects of the IS-7 is how far ahead it was compared to other tanks of its generation. Western tanks at the time, such as the early versions of the American M103 or the British Conqueror, struggled to balance armor, speed, and firepower. The IS-7, however, demonstrated that it was possible to combine all three qualities in one design. Its advanced suspension system, sloped armor layout, and high-tech targeting equipment made it feel like a tank from the future rather than the late 1940s. However, despite its brilliance, the IS-7 was never adopted into full production. The Soviet leadership at the time realized that the doctrine of warfare was shifting away from massive heavy tanks toward more mobile medium tanks that could operate more flexibly on different battlefields. Additionally, the IS-7 was extremely expensive to build and maintain, making it impractical for large-scale deployment. Only a handful of prototypes were ever built, and today, one of them survives and is preserved at the Kubinka Tank Museum in Russia, where it continues to attract visitors and researchers from around the world. The legacy of the IS-7 lives on, not just in military history but also in popular culture. It has become a fan favorite in many video games, such as World of Tanks, where players admire its nearly impenetrable armor and devastating gun. The tank's reputation as an unstoppable force has made it one of the most recognizable vehicles in digital warfare, further cementing its legendary status. For many enthusiasts, the IS-7 represents the "what if" scenario of military technology. What if it had gone into mass production, and what impact would it have had on the balance of power during the Cold War? Looking back, the IS-7 stands as a monument to Soviet ambition and innovation. It was more than just a tank. It was a statement of technological supremacy during a time when the world was still recovering from one global conflict while preparing for the next. Its design elements influenced future generations of tanks, even if indirectly, and its story continues to inspire discussions about the evolution of armored warfare. So, when we talk about the IS-7, we are not only remembering a machine of steel and firepower but also honoring the vision of its engineers and the era of bold experimentation in tank development. Even though it never rolled out in thousands, the few that were built left a mark so deep that the IS-7 remains unforgettable decades later. Thank you for watching today's video on the IS-7. If you enjoyed learning about this legendary tank and its unmatched design, make sure to stay tuned for more incredible stories of military technology and innovation. This is Future Speed Hub 2026, and I'll see you in the next video.